Hi, my name is Lauren, and I decided to do my video blog over Jay Leno and Jimmy Kimmel. First, for Jay Leno, he didn't really touch much on election stuff, except for in his opening monologue, he just briefly made a joke about little kids standing outside of a house that couldn't decide whether to trick-or-treat or not, and whenever someone asked them what their costumes were, they were undecided voters. So that was just his quick little joke. And then they had a segment where this guy interviewed a bunch of little kids, and for the interview he used different metaphors having to do with the election, taxes, and that sort of stuff. So first he had a metaphor about this house, and it showed a picture of the White House, and he talked about this guy that threw a big party, and it showed a picture of George Bush. And he said, so there was this guy that had this big party and made this big mess in the house, and whenever he left the house, the next guy that came in, and it showed a picture of Obama, it said the next guy that came in to rent the house for 4 years promised to clean up the mess, but now that 4 years is up and he didn't clean up the mess like he promised, so there's this third guy that wants to rent out the house, and it showed a picture of Romney, and it said that he promises to clean up the mess, but he doesn't have an exact plan on how to clean up the house. And so he asked the little kids what they thought about the situation, and they basically said that one little kid said for Obama that if he promised to clean up the house and he didn't, then he should be kicked out and should be fined. And then for Romney, this little girl said that if he said he was going to clean up the house but didn't have an exact plan for it, that he was a liar. So then the next metaphor that he used had to deal with taxes and pretty much Obamacare, and he used a metaphor with Easter eggs and asked little kids that if there was this Easter egg hunt and one little kid got a bunch of Easter eggs and a few kids didn't get any Easter eggs, that if the parents got mad and wanted the little kid with the eggs to give the little kids that didn't get any, wanted to make him give them his eggs, if that was fair or not. And the little kid said no, it wasn't fair, because the little kids that didn't get any eggs obviously weren't motivated enough to get the eggs and didn't deserve it, because the other little kid that did get the eggs, he had the motivation and determination to go out to get the eggs, so he deserved it. And then he put a twist on it and said, what if I said that the little kid with all the Easter eggs pushed and shoved all the little kids down in order to get the eggs? And the little kid changed his answer and said that if he basically bullied the little kids to get the eggs, then the little kids that didn't get any eggs deserved some of his share. So then he also made a quick little metaphor about vice president, and he talked about little kids in classes that talk a lot, and it showed a picture of Joe Biden, and he asked why he thinks someone like that talks so much during class and is so obnoxious. And these little kids said that they think he talks a lot because he doesn't know what he's saying and he's obnoxious, and that people get annoyed by those kids in class. And so he surprisingly didn't say anything about Paul Ryan with that. He just touched on Joe Biden, because they've managed to stay pretty neutral with all of this stuff, dealing with elections and Obamacare and all that stuff. As for Jimmy Kimmel, he didn't talk a lot about the elections during his opening monologue either. But he did have a segment where he talked about the African American demographic and how Obama has the African American votes 94 to 3% versus Romney. And so he went to a barbershop in Brooklyn and asked a bunch of people in there basically what they thought about Mitt Romney. And a lot of the things that the guy said were that they wish he would drop out of the race. And then Jimmy Kimmel made a chocolate milk joke and said that Mitt Romney's favorite drink is chocolate milk, and if that made a difference, and they all said no, it didn't. And of course he asked about Mitt Romney's hair, and they all said it was decent, but they didn't like it. Then he asked different questions and asked them to rank him from 0 to 10, how they felt, and on all of the questions about Mitt Romney they answered 0, and they said that the only way that, Jimmy Kimmel asked what would make them want to vote for Mitt Romney, and they said the only way they would ever vote for Mitt Romney was if it was Survivor and they were voting him off the island. So I would say that Jimmy Kimmel sided with Obama a lot, because he never asked them why they liked Obama, why they didn't like Mitt Romney. They basically just made fun of Mitt Romney the whole time. So I would say that Jay Leno managed to stay neutral during the whole thing, but Jimmy Kimmel definitely, it was easy to tell that he was for Obama. So that is my video vlog, so thank you. Bye.